All right, boys, welcome back to another episode of Talk That Stick. We got a little bit of a bonus episode here, guys, because playoffs are starting fucking tomorrow.
Playoff edition.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So,
eh?
obviously, we have a little bit of a different setup. Jared's not here because unfortunately Flames didn't make playoffs, so he didn't want to come.
He's not allowed to come.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he's not allowed to come.
Wait, then why are you here?
But
I don't think these guys made the playoffs.
because I'm a Colorado fan.
All
at
right,
heart.
yeah,
Okay, sure.
Bandwagon,
Yeah.
bandwagon baby.
Bandwagon baby. That's right. I like that term. Anyways, so we got a little bit of an interesting one today because we want to talk about Eastern Conference matchups. But first, I wanted to say we're going to do a podcast on Sunday with a couple of our new friends from TikTok, the Maple Leaf Maverick. Check out his content. He's pretty good. It's pretty interesting stuff. Huge Edmonton Oilers fan. Huge hockey fan. I know you guys are. It's going to be an interesting.
No, he's
one.
great, man. He's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
It'll be great. And then we have another friend from TikTok coming on board, Recliner Sports from TikTok as well. So you guys should go follow their accounts. They're good guys. He's a good Montreal fan. So stay tuned for this Sunday's episode and Talk That Six very first guest appearances. But boys, let's just go right into it. I know, Matt, you have the playoff list right on your hand here. So
I do.
let's take it away, Matty.
All
Kick
right,
it off, baby.
let's start with Florida and Tampa Bay.
Good place to start.
It's a great place to start.
It is.
Florida matchup. I think the series is going to be insane.
Oh,
I
it's
love this
must-watch
matchup.
TV. It's
Oh,
must-watch.
100%.
It is. The only thing I don't like is the 9:30 start that you mentioned earlier. That's fucking
It's brutal.
Tough.
so fun.
Stuff. There's a lot of rough starts. It's because playoffs were supposed to start on the 22nd, but TV dictates everything, so they pushed it to the 20th. So now we're getting some funky starts, but that enables us to. I mean, Saturday we only got 2 games. We'll get into that, but Sunday, full slate. You can wake up. It's like NFL Sunday. You wake up in the morning. You can sit on your couch all day, crush beers, order some food, and just watch hockey all day. It's gonna be amazing.
So my one question here is, out of that series, the Tampa Bay and Florida series, right? Who are the key factors on who takes that series? Because at this point, I'm not gonna lie, everybody has fucking Florida, but I've also said to you all season long,
Don't count out Tampa.
don't count out Tampa. You can't count out Tampa.
You're a fool. People have done it for years, and like outside of last year or whatever, they've stuffed it down our faces. So keys.
Key factors right now. Bang them off. Paul, go first.
On Florida, obviously Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Gustav Forsling.
Okay.
That's a
That
great.
guy is
I don't mind that.
key
pick.
factor. And then you get your Barkovs and who's going to be in net, because Bobrovsky has not held the net. Who's the
Spencer Knight.
no
Stollers.
Stollers, yeah.
Anthony Stollers.
This kid, I don't know if he's going to even be on the squad next year when you got Bobrovsky and Knight locked in.
No, Connor Ingram might be on the squad next
Okay,
season.
come on. But so
Connor
that for as far as Florida goes, that's how it's gonna go if they're gonna make it anywhere. Those are the key players.
Okay, I think I've been saying this for a while. I don't know if I told you guys, but my biggest factor with Florida is which Sam Reinhart are we getting? Are we getting the Sam Reinhart of this year?
50+ goals.
50+ goal scorer,
So good.
over 100 points, right? 100 points, over 100 points, right? Or 90. Anyways, are we getting
He had a
that-
good year.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had a fucking
Yeah.
fantastic
Great
year.
year.
Are we getting that Reinhardt, or are we getting Sam Reinhart of old?
Yeah,
That's my factor of this year,
it's big.
and I don't know. And the Bobrovsky thing, I think it's his net until he loses the net.
I think he already lost it. Matt, what do you think, bud?
No, it's still Bobrovsky's
Yeah.
net.
You think
Yeah. If Tampa Bay pots a 7 on him in the first game, that they'd probably go to Stolarz in the second game. But as long as Bobrovsky keeps them in it, I don't think he's going to lose the net.
Yeah,
Yeah. He did it last year, so
yeah. I mean, he did do it last year too. And then when it comes to Tampa, you can say your Kucherovs, you can say your Stamkos, you can say your Hedman. But my biggest factor is which Vasilevsky are you getting? Are you getting Vesna caliber Vasilevsky. And another thing is, what Brendan Hagel are you getting? What Duclair are you getting? Because you know your Kucherovs are going to show up. You know your Stamkos is going to show up. You know your Hedman's going to show up. You know those guys are going to show up. Who are you getting out of the bottom six?
Duclair to me.
He's a gamer in the
Yeah,
playoffs,
well, you saw it on literally on Florida
and he
last
knows
year.
how to play against fucking Florida.
He does, but he's kind of an empty calorie point getter, though. Like, does he drive a line, or is he the third complementary piece on a good line? And if that's what he is on a good line, like, that's fine. But I'm not looking too deep into Duclair for this one. I think it really is going to come down to Cooch, Stammer, Vasilevsky. I'm not even putting Hedman in there. And that's wild to say, but Hedman is just going to be. He's not on the level of your Makars, your Yossi's, your Hughes. Some of these guys now. He's.
I would put him in the same tier as Yossi, only as
That's
this year.
wild.
Only
Do you know
this
how
year.
good of a year that Yossi has
Yeah,
had?
but do you know the resurgence that Hedman had this year?
Yeah, you're right.
He said Hedman had 75 points this year.
Like,
I mean, it does help paying on a power play with Kucherov, I must say.
power play.
Yeah, but
well, okay. If we're talking about like game changers, this mucky team in Florida, are they going to take that extra, or are they going to give that extra punch and take that extra penalty and end up screwing themselves against this elite power play?
Probably, yeah. I can see it happening.
Yep.
They're a team that wants to muck it up.
Yeah.
If they can contain how much that one extra shot to throw them off their game, if that second extra shot puts them in the box, they're in trouble.
Who's your biggest guy for Tampa?
For Tampa, it's Kucherov.
Is he the key factor though?
100% he is. He's the best player on the team.
Like, but he's
player in the league this year.
Yeah,
arguably, he's gonna show up.
Yeah.
Are you worried about anybody on Tampa?
Am I worried about anyone?
What are you worried about the most?
The problem is a lot of their players this year haven't really shown up anyways. Yeah. So it's not like, this guy had a great regular season. Yeah. Do you think he could disappear in the playoffs? They've all kind of disappeared in the regular season anyways. If your second leading goal scorer and Braden Point is 50 points behind your leading goal scorer, that says something. I'm just worried about the whole team.
The only thing about Tampa, I will say, is they're not a regular season team. They're not.
But they're missing Sergachev.
That's huge.
That's huge.
And Dumba.
Yeah.
Dumba, he's terrible in defensive zone.
Yeah.
That's literally why the Wild did not want to bring him back.
So who do you guys got?
Oh, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Florida.
Okay,
how many games?
6. I'll give it in 6.
I think 6 is a fair number.
Got Florida in 5.
I wouldn't be shocked. I don't hate it. I wouldn't be shocked.
It's just Tampa can Tampa their way into 2 wins, no problem.
I could see him winning it.
Yeah, me too. It's regardless. You'll find my ass on the couch watching that series because that's must-watch TV. It's insane.
I think it's so stupid that that's the matchup too. Like we've had this long discussion.
There's tons of first-round matchups
where it's just outrageous. The 1-8 system needs to come back.
If this was 1-8, they still play each other.
Yeah, I know.
That's the best part.
That's the best part.
I think almost all matchups this year, actually, if you still went 1-8, would end up being the same.
It did until it wasn't like that until the last game when everybody thought it was going to be Toronto and Florida.
Yeah.
Right? Boston losing.
Yeah, like that Boston facing Tampa in the first round. That's an easier matchup.
Speaking of which, are we moving on to
the next one?
What's the next one?
Boston, Toronto.
Let's go.
Biggest factors for Toronto?
Goaltending.
I'm right there with you.
Goaltending.
Fucking Samsonov. Like, can you rely on that?
Who wants to rely on that?
Toronto's going to have to, if they want to or not.
Don't have much of a choice. Can they outscore their problems against the best goalie tandem in the league.
We've seen it
With
before.
the best goal scorer of probably all of hockey. Yeah, they probably could. Yeah.
Probably
They
good.
probably could. I mean, look at Colorado the year they won the cup. That's exactly what they did with Kemper.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Another series that like history. It's so perfect. Seeing the Battle of Florida, and then walking into a Boston Toronto series, like boys, it doesn't get much better than that.
You know that Toronto hasn't beaten Boston in a playoff series since I think it was 1969. It's been a
Yeah.
hot minute.
No, it's been a tough time for them. Who's your biggest factor for Toronto?
For Toronto, my biggest factor?
Yeah. Like everybody could say Matthews and those guys, but
That's not really a factor.
it's not a factor.
Yeah.
They're
they're
gonna
get theirs. So who do you have?
It probably has to be goaltending. Like it has to be. Like all their offensive guys, they're
good.
good. They're gonna show up. Their defense is underrated. Most of those guys, they're gonna show up. It's goaltending. That's the only question mark that I have with Toronto.
Bet the overs in this series. I would say.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a goal scoring series.
So flipping to Boston,
Yes, sir.
who is your biggest factor, Paul?
This goaltending. It sucks to say.
No,
It's a goaltending matchup.
I'm right there with you because my problem is like this back and forth thing between Swayman and Allmark can ruin a goaltender's confidence.
I couldn't disagree more.
I actually love it.
I don't like it. I don't like it
They've
at
been
all.
doing it all season.
I know, but they did it last year and it didn't work out either.
And it
It
they-
wasn't because they didn't get good goaltending why they lost. That's not the reason why they lost that series to Florida.
But you could argue that last year they had a remarkably better team.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Without argument. It's
Exactly.
literally
So you go
historical.
Allmark one game, Swayman the next, Allmark that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that ruins a jive for a goalie.
It could.
It does.
It could. Yeah, I mean, I can't sit here and disagree with you when you provide receipts of last year. A bunch of stuff happened bad for them last year. Regardless, it comes down to goaltending. This is going to be maybe even more so is center depth. Toronto's center depth destroys Boston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like top to bottom.
And then is Zaka gonna show up again?
Yeah.
He's been good all season.
He's been just slightly above average all season. I wouldn't qualify it as good. Slightly above average.
What do you slightly above average? It's
I'll
good.
take slightly above
Yeah,
average,
exactly.
yeah.
But as a first line center, like
He is in my opinion the middle average for
Yeah.
a top line center.
I agree.
Out of all the top line centers in the playoffs, I don't think I have Zach in the top 10 for out of these 16 teams.
Of course not.
There's multiple teams that their third line center is better than Pavel Zacha.
Yeah.
Vancouver?
That's not what I was getting to, but that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the West on another pod, but
Sunday.
So, boys, who do we have then?
Toronto in 6 is what I'm going with.
Toronto in 7.
Toronto in 6.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's
So
fair.
far an agreement in Florida
It's gonna be
and
a
Toronto.
hell of a series.
Yeah.
All right. Rangers, Capitals. I think do we even need to
I was just
discuss
gonna
this
say the
one?
same thing. Like, I'm sorry. I'm giving Ovechkin a game. I'm giving him a game. Charlie Lindgren will steal a game. Ovechkin will steal a game. I don't think we need to talk about X factors here. And if we get proven wrong, then fucking great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'd be sick,
exactly.
Sick for the league if there was an upset that big. I selfishly, because I want to see Ovi break the record. I don't want to go on a big playoff run where he can get bruised up and age his body even more.
Yeah.
So just win a game, whatever, bow out, get reinvigorated, and come back next year and beat that record. But I don't want to see a long series here and see Ovechkin get banged up. And it'd be tough to even go 5.
So Rangers.
And both of you guys were in 5.
I'm 5. I know you're
I'll get
4.
5.
I
Yeah,
know you're 4.
I'm going 4 because every year, almost every year, there's a sweep in the first round.
Yeah.
And this is the easiest series to pick where there's going to be a sweep. So that's what
very
I'm going
arguably
with.
true.
Rangers in 4.
Yeah.
Final series: Carolina, New York Islanders.
It's a tougher one. It is. I'm gonna just come out and say it. I have Carolina winning that.
Yeah.
But the biggest factor with he said it, he kind of convinced me earlier, is they still have Sorokin and they still have Dobson, they still have Barzell. Horvat's no slouch,
Nope.
right? And
Proven playoff performer, Bo
Yeah.
Horvat.
And- dude, and love it or hate it, baby, but Kyle Palmieri is a solid role player.
solid.
Anders
And-
Lee.
Yeah, Anders Lee, Brock Nelson,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
they're a gritty
you need
fucking
those
team.
veterans for sure.
Uh,
And yeah, like I was talking to you about it. Not saying that they have the same vibes or anything. I don't think the Islanders are winning the cup, but St. Louis won on the back of Bennington, and the Islanders have that X factor in net where they can just, at least for a series, can shut it down and win one against a team that has historically been not good at scoring. Now they got Jake Gensel,
Yeah,
and they have bolstered their team,
and Jake Getzel's a proven playoff performer.
proven, and he's been absolutely insane.
He's been the best player since the well, not best player, but best trade
Since
line
the trade
deal.
deadline ever, yeah, like historically. So, but Carolina be Carolining sometimes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if they don't push offense and you're playing against that goaltender,
it's hard, man.
it can be an upset. Like yeah, every year there's a first round sweep.
Yeah,
There's gonna be an upset.
exactly.
And I'm a Carolina fan.
I-
I believe Carolina's gonna win.
Yeah.
But if there's any series that has upset written on it, I think it's this one.
Yeah. So for me, I was going to go Canes in 7 because I think it's going to be really close. A really tightly contested series. After looking over it a little bit more, I'm going Canes in 6.
Fair enough. Okay, why? I want to know big because I
What
want
changed you from 7 to 6?
no, because I want to know your biggest like for the Canes biggest X factor. Like who's gonna be the guy?
Who's going to be the guy?
No, we know the guys, but like who's gonna be the hero?
Martin Nichas.
I love that take. I
That's a good
fucking love that take. I
I'm
love that
big-
take. See, my biggest problem is what goaltender are you getting? Frederick Anderson, right?
Ever since he's come back from injury, he's been
He's been
lights
great.
out.
He's
He's
great.
been no,
But-
I wouldn't say great. He's been lights
Yeah,
out.
you know he's great, but
He has. Let me
not a-
give you some more context here on Frederick Anderson. I'm a big Frederick Anderson fan.
Let's go.
Okay,
Alright.
so he's played what, like 20 games this year, maybe less.
yeah,
He is 13th out of all goalies that have played this year in goals saved above expected. To get a good total on that, you have to play a massive number of games or be lights out.
yes,
Frederick Anderson has been lights out.
that's fair. But playoff performer, no.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a series in which Carolina has lost because of Frederick Anderson.
No, I'm not saying
In
lost.
Toronto, there's been
Yeah,
series.
there's been exactly.
But
But
That's
that's
Toronto.
Toronto.
It's he was playing under a way
Exactly.
worse
No,
defensive
it's-
system.
And last year-
and
last-
Carolina systems.
And last year,
Historic.
arguably, their defense was terrible. They flamed out, and then Frederick Anderson got left out to dry. So it's not all on him, but also at the same time,
Well, if he
Soro-
doesn't perform, you
but
have
I think this is another battle.
Kachekov,
I
like-
think this is another battle of because Sorokin is just so good.
He's
and
so good.
Can Frederick Anderson match that? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think he needs to match it.
Yeah, it might come down to him not needing to match it. My X factor, and it's a complete cop out. It's Jake Gensel.
Yeah.
The guy that
He's gonna show
historically,
up. Though.
it's always like decent offensive team, great defensive team, needs scoring in the playoffs, and they got a guy. They got the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like all he has to do is get a point a game. And
Yeah.
you think he can't get a point a game? I don't need him to score every game, but he can pass too.
Yeah, he's a great passer.
He's sick.
He's great
So
down. He's great down low and off the rush.
I think that that's going to be the thing that I can see Carolina making a real run.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many games? Because you're Carolina, I'm assuming.
100% Carolina. I am going to go in 6.
I'm gonna go Carolina in 7.
Yeah,
6. Right?
Carolina in 6. I'm surprised that we're all in agreement for who's winning these series. By the way, I was thinking there was going to be at least for maybe one of them, one of us goes in a different direction. But
So next round, because we're just gonna do the whole East here.
yeah, do we want to skip the second round? Because second round doesn't really matter if we pick like our Eastern Conference 2 finalists. We don't have to go through those specific.
I want to go
matchups.
next round. I want to go next round because it could be different.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if we did the West and we had different teams picked to win the round, we can't really do a second round.
We might as well.
Okay.
Because Carolina and the Rangers, that's a fucking scary matchup.
Carolina.
No,
I like the Rangers.
I like the Rangers.
Carolina.
Why?
Why? I don't know. It was just my
For
gut.
everything we just talked about.
Yeah, it was just my gut.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about the second round at all. To be
Yeah,
perfectly
I like
honest
that.
with you.
I like that it's just the gut because that's like mine's
Yeah.
gut too.
Yeah.
I think after everything else from here on is just going to be gut.
Yeah. Like, I am not putting forward any sort of hard and fast predictions for what's happening after the first round. This year is probably the most wide open year the NHL playoffs have seen. If you take out the bubble in over a decade,
Yeah.
like this is crazy wide open.
And a decade ago it was a different brand of hockey.
It was.
Yeah.
So this is.
You could argue that it's been the most exciting season this year.
Oh,
in one of NHL
I
history.
will throw that down as somebody who's watched hockey a very long time. This has been outside of the Metro to finish the year, which is kind of a joke. Everything else has just been wild. Even like we said, the last game of the season, determining the Battle of Florida and Toronto Boston. Like the fact that Boston lost, everything coming together to make those sexy matchups. It's like that's wild.
Yeah.
You would think that Boston would have shown up to, or maybe they want Toronto. I don't know. I don't believe that teams throw games for positions.
No.
That's crazy.
Because then Dallas would have lost their last game.
Right? You would think so. But yeah, it's just the way everything's played out is absolutely insane, and I couldn't be more excited for these matchups.
So you said you wanted to skip to Eastern Conference final, right?
Yeah, just because in the case like when we do the West, we're probably gonna have differing picks there, right? So
everybody who we're having on that episode will. So who's your East for Eastern Conference?
So in the Eastern Conference final, my gut is Florida, Carolina.
Paul, what do you got?
Yeah.
Do you pick the Rangers over Carolina?
I know, but when you like, I'm trying to look at big picture and everything. I don't, like we said, I haven't put much thought. Like, if I think series to series, I can be swayed. But right now, just looking at it, like, Florida is probably going to be contending against the West again this year. And yeah, they beat Carolina, they beat the Rangers, so like I don't know, doesn't matter. Florida is making the finals.
I have the Rangers and Toronto.
All right.
That's what I have.
That's for you, every Toronto fan out there. Think you're the center of the universe? Well, guess what? Some people in Vancouver think Toronto's going to make it too. Unreal.
And if they get knocked out in the first round, then I have Florida going out the West. Sorry, East.
Yeah.
I just think it's both storylines. You got the Boston series. Toronto's been through it.
If Toronto can beat Boston, that's like 2011 Chicago.
Exactly.
Vancouver vibes. If
Exactly.
Toronto beats Boston, they're
And after
They're buzzing. They're a buzzsaw. It'll be insane.
And then after last year, it's a lot of stipulations, right?
Everything.
It's exactly right.
I'm so excited, boys.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I know, man. It's crazy. But after last year of we want Florida, and then we get pumped 4-0 in the series,
Yeah.
that's not fucking happening this year. It's not. I don't think so. I don't know if you beg to differ, right?
I wouldn't say pumped, but I think Florida would still take that.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, just look at their regular season matchups. Florida owned them.
yeah. I
tend to throw out regular season.
I know. So do I. It's a.
But it does. It's not meaningless.
No, it's not meaningless. It's just one of those things. It's a gut feeling. Talk to me after the first round.
Yeah.
Right.
Talk to me after the first game.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Like that's what I mean. Like
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like
I'll be flip flopping all over the place, boys.
gut
Doing
feeling.
one of these.
Yeah. Gut feeling is Florida. Sorry, Toronto makes it, and then gut feeling is I hate the fucking Rangers, but and I've been saying tooting the horn that they're fugazis, but I think they make it. Yeah, the undeniable New York Rangers. Undescribable, uneventful.
No, they're very eventful. They won the President's Trophy for a
That's
reason.
another
And
thing.
they got Rempe.
I know, that's
you're talking the most eventful motherfucker.
That's
out
another
there.
thing is what the fuck is it?
They have a man who has the best hair in the league. Like, what are we talking about here?
Panarin?
Panarin?
Zibanejad.
Oh,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Panarin.
Well,
Because
Panarin's bald right now.
it's the best player in the
All
league.
is
Buddy.
beautiful, buddy.
Yeah, but
Yeah, to each their own, I guess.
boys,
Each their own, I guess.
it's fucking 11 o'clock. Do we have any final thoughts on this? Who's gonna be the best player in the East going to the West Eastern Conference Finals?
Sam Bennett.
It's not a bad take.
I was just throwing out a gut.
It's not a bad take. I don't mind it.
Sometimes first thought, best thought, cheapest thought, Matthew Tkachuk.
I don't.
That's
hate
okay.
it.
The guy's
I
a
don't hate
game
it.
breaker.
Yeah,
The guy's
I don't hate that.
I've got
Yeah.
Kyle Okaposo.
Okay,
I'm just messing.
I'm
with
done.
We can wrap this
No,
up.
I'm just messing.
Kyle Okposo.
If I'm going with my
Okposo.
if I'm going with my Toronto pick, I'm gonna say Tavares.
If you're going Toronto, I would go Nylander.
Oh man.
Nylander is so sick in the playoffs.
Hey, after you convinced me that Tavares is gonna take $2 million for his team, I
Tavares
need to see it.
He's a leader.
I need to see it.
Yeah, let's go, Tavares. Lock
Yeah.
it in.
For-
Bennett, Kachuk, Tavares. That'd be a sick line, eh?
Bennett, Tavares, and Kachuk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kachuk runs that line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But boys, quick episode today. You guys will see us in full force. I'm tired as shit. It's 11:30, I think.
You said it was 11 like 2 minutes ago.
Exactly.
Time jumping.
Exactly. But boys, I appreciate you, and keep liking, keep subscribing, keep pushing that P, and you know what? We'll see you in the streets, and we'll see you in your sheets, baby. Keep talking that stick.